You were born with these amazing emotions that let you know in every moment your vibrational relationship with you. But before you can really understand your vibrational relationship with you, you've got to understand that there are 2 points of vibration within you. There's the vibration that comes forth from who you really are as source, and then there's the vibration that comes forth in response to what you're thinking right now. So right now, if you're thinking about how much you love someone, you're in alignment because that's what your inner being is thinking also. If in this moment you're thinking about how wrong they are, or how insensitive they are, or how much they have betrayed you, the negative emotion you're feeling as you have those thoughts is there because your inner being is not having those thoughts. Your inner being is looking at the best of them no matter what you're doing. So when you find the worst of something, you separate yourself to some degree from the vibration of who you are. When you look for the best of something, you come closer into alignment. Some of you have been listening to us for a while, and we've been talking for a long time about this emotional guidance scale. We talk about how on the good feeling end there's love and appreciation and joy and eagerness and passion, all those good feeling emotions, and also your perception of your power and freedom. And on the other end are really bad feeling emotions like depression or despair or fear, and your perception of disempowerment. And of course, everything in between. And sometimes you get the feeling that we're so wanting you to be up in this good feeling vibration that you should do everything you can to get there. And we say, problem with that thought is you can't get there instantly. And when you want to be someplace that you're not, you don't move toward it, you move away from it. Picture yourself taking your boat down to the river's edge. It's a wonderful analogy. Some of you have heard it from us many times before, but it is the best picture of how this all fits together that we can find for you. You take your raft down to the river, you have your oars already in it, and most of you, dear beloved human friends, turn your raft upstream and begin paddling very hard against the current. And we say, and this is really worth taking in, we would remember this forever and ever and ever if we were standing in your physical shoes. Nothing that you want is upstream. Nothing that you want is upstream. And the reason that we can so emphatically give that to you is because we know the stream. We know how the stream has been created. We understand the power of law of attraction and its effect upon your desires, which creates the stream. We know that you were a creative being when you were only source energy before you got into this physical body. And we know that law of attraction was attracting to that powerful vibrational essence of who you are. In other words, well-being was already coming to you before you were born into this body. And then we saw you be born into this body as you set forth that intention. And then we saw law of attraction responding to the vibration of who you really are and the vibration of who you're being in this moment. Isn't that interesting? Every thought you think, everything you are, law of attraction is like a giant magnifying glass that's laid over it and amplifying every aspect of it. So you have this duality going on within you almost in the moment that you are born, as the source energy part of you is summoning the well-being to you, which it has amassed over the eons of your existence. And you, even in your little infant form, are attracting to you by virtue of the vibration that you're offering. Now, many people say, oh, Abraham, how much could a little infant being begin vibrating and therefore attracting as soon as they are born? And we say, you would be knocked over if you understood that that little being learned to vibrate while it was even in its mother's womb. It learned to vibrate as it sat in a room while its mother watched CNN. It learned to vibrate as its mother worried about it every day since she found out she was pregnant. It learned its vibrational patterning from its environment when it was inside her womb, just like it does when it's outside her womb. In other words, it's learning its vibration from its physical environment. You all learn your vibration from your physical environment. Now, some of you say, oh, Abraham, that just seems wrong. Because if we were pure positive energy before we were born, why in the world would we expose ourselves to less than pure positive energy and risk that separation? And we say, because you were so exhilarated about the variety that you knew would inspire yet new desires. Because you know you are an eternal being. Because you're looking at life from the broader picture, not from the narrow picture. Because you know that being out here on the leading edge of thought and being exposed to the contrast would cause you to come to new preferences. And you knew that the broader, most significant inner being, eternal part of you would then become that new idea that you had carved out, and you saw no risk whatsoever. And anyway, you said, the physical part of me will have access to knowing where the non-physical part of me is always going, because the non-physical part of me is dominant, and the non-physical part of me, law of attraction, is responding to me, and the non-physical part of me will feel really, really good. So if anyone wants to feel good and they just reach for the thoughts that feel good, they can easily become a vibrational match to who they are becoming. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. That is the way that it is. And so when you understand that you are this source energy and that law of attraction is responding to this powerful, evolving being that you are, then you understand that all you have to do is exactly as the genius creator that you know as Joseph Campbell said. He said, so wise, follow your bliss. Follow your bliss. Which means follow the vibrational patterns of that broader part of you. Some of you say, from where I stand, I can't get a whiff of bliss. Hard to get on the trail of that. And we say, we get that. As we talk about all these good feeling emotions when you're feeling bad, we're just annoying. So we would like you to leave this gathering today remembering two things. Nothing you want is upstream, and there really is only one emotion that you ever need to reach for. And let's give it, this powerful emotion, one word that you will always remember. Let's call it the emotion of relief. Because you really, from your despair, don't have the choice of appreciation. Vibrationally too far apart. From your doubt, you really don't have access to the vibration of belief. It's too far apart. When you are facing the reality that makes you feel fear, you really do not have access to the vibration of appreciation and well-being. They're too far apart. But no matter where you are on the emotional scale, you have access to the feeling and emotion of relief. So you could say, and you'd be accurate to say it, from where I am, I only have two choices: worse or better. Feeling a little worse, feeling a little better. But what sometimes you do, because you're so not liking where you are and so much wanting to be someplace else, you want to turn and put a motor on your boat and speed to where you want to be. And we say, then you don't understand the stream. You don't have to turn your boat around. Just stop paddling. Just drop the oars. The stream will turn you. You don't have to paddle downstream. Do you know every time you try to paddle downstream that instead you paddle upstream? Every single time you say, oh, this is hard, I need to give this something more, you turn upstream every single time. When you say, I'm sick and I want or need a healing, everyone that we've ever seen reaching for a healing turns and goes upstream. Because you're focused upon the illness that you're trying to overcome, and you're trying to do what you're trying to do, so now you're paddling upstream. And so you're sick, which means you really want to be well. And the sicker you are, or the longer you're sick, the weller you want to be, so the faster the stream goes. But the more you look at where you are, the more you turn upstream. So your sickness gets more and more and more acute, because the more you're sick, the more you want to be well. The more you want to be well, the faster the stream goes. The faster the stream goes, the more you notice you're not where you want to be. The more you look upstream, the more this faster and faster and faster moving current moves against you, who is not moving with the flow. The stream beats you up. You get really, 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 really sick, and you say, I don't understand what's happening. And we say, your own desire is pulling against your own resistance. There, we finally said it. You're doing it all. You created the speed of the stream, and you are creating the resistance. You're doing every bit of it, you see. So when you understand that you are the creator of your own reality, And that you were born with guidance that will help you close this gap. Close this gap. That's what it's all about. It's about letting me be me. And so we're going to put it in very poignant words. We want you to remember that nothing you want is upstream. And that the only emotion that is ever necessary to reach for is the emotion of relief. And we want you to realize that when you are reaching for the emotion of relief, that you are always pointed downstream. And when you are pointed downstream, it is inevitable that what you want must be. The stream is sure. It's powerful. So when you get it, that the stream is flowing, and that it's been flowing for a long time, and that you are adding to the speed of the stream, and that you have actually become everything that life has caused you to ask for in vibrational essence, and that if you would reach for better and better feeling thoughts, you would find vibrational alignment with that, then you begin to understand that there really is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. You are powerful creators who have come forth to enjoy this experience. And then you say, but Abraham, I've been 40 years on this damn river. When's my stuff gonna show up? And we say, when you consistently get going with the stream. When you consistently get going with the stream, because everything you want is there for you. But when you keep turning around and saying, it's not there, why is it taking so long? I must be doing something wrong. I must be unworthy. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where I'm going wrong. Look at that person. They're thriving and I'm not. I wish that I knew better what to do. My mother should have taught me better. I should have been born in a different time. Maybe I did something wrong in a past life. Maybe I wasn't born under the right star. I need to go to a different church. I need to join a different political party. I wish I could marry somebody who's rich. How come that person's got a Porsche? I bet his dad bought it for him. In other words, as you are beating the drum of all of those things that you do not want, as you're taking score of where you are and not feeling good while you're taking the score, you're not going with the flow. And you develop these fantastic muscles and ability to keep yourself pointed upstream. So you know what happens? That stream's taking you. That stream is taking you. And on this float trip are all of the opportunities and all of the circumstances and events that you want. But you know what you're doing? You got your back turned to where it all is. You're paddling so hard. Stream's taking you, but you're missing it all. You don't see the opportunities. You don't rendezvous with the person in the elevator. You aren't inspired to say the right thing at the right time. You leave late, and so you don't rendezvous with that person that you were going to meet at Starbucks if you had just left in the time that you meant to. In other words, there's all of these circumstances and events that are orchestrated for the culmination and the unfolding of the things that you want, and you're paddling upstream in complaint of why you're not getting to where you want to go, and you're missing your stuff. So the answer to where's my stuff is you've been floating by it. It's been there all along. You've just been floating by it. You just have not been tuned in, tapped in, turned on to it, because you have been so enamored by the reality of what you're living that you've been letting what you're living control your vibrational attitude. So you've had an attitude of I don't have it or I can't find it. The other day, Esther couldn't find something. She really wanted it. I can't find it. I must have lost it, she said. And it really matters to me. It's my really beautiful pen, and I really, really want it. And it flows so nicely. It's my favorite one, and I can't find it. And I wonder if I left it in that restaurant when I signed that check. I wonder if I left it at the hotel where I was signing in. I've lost my pen. I've lost my pen. Jerry, I've lost my pen. I've lost my pen. I've lost my pen. I've lost my pen. I've lost my beautiful pen. I've lost my pen. Did you take my pen? Were you using my pen? Did you see what I did with my pen? I can't find my pen. I really, really want to find my pen. I need this pen. I really need this pen. No other pen flows like this pen flows. I've never had a pen that I liked as much as this pen, and I cannot find this pen. And Jerry said, let's go buy you another pen. So they were in a place where there were lots of stores, and they went into one store after another. We have no pens. We have no pens. No, we have no pens. We used to have pens. We think they might have pens. No, they don't have any pens. I can't find my pen. I can't find my pen. I can't replace my pen. I can't buy another pen. I need this pen. I can't find my pen. Oh, look at that. Did you see that beautiful flower? Did you see that baby? Did you see the look on that baby's face? Oh, here's my pen. In my purse, right where it had been. But when something is lost, you are blind to it. When you are out of vibrational sync with the treasures of your life, they are blind to you. You cannot find them, not because they are not there, but because you're zigging while they're zagging, because you're focused upstream and they're focused downstream, because they are one frequency and you are another frequency. And you think that because you have eyes, that these are real things that you are seeing, and because you all agree on these things. Esther would have bet her life that her pen was not in her purse. She also would have bet her life that Jerry had done something with